Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is actually editing me. I had planned on doing the intro after I read everything, but then I went straight to editing and forgot to do the intro. So I'm coming back to do the intro. For my last video, I read books that were green spines. For this video, I'm doing the middle grade edition. So here are my books that have green spines. I knew that I wanted to read Making Friends with Billy Wong. And as I said in that video, my two Andrew Clements were priorities. So these were going to be the books that I was going to read this week. I wanted audiobooks so that I would have time to really read them. They didn't come in. So what I ended up doing was thinking, well, what if I read library books that are green too? I'm sure I had plenty. I have so many books from the library. Seriously, an issue. I know I keep saying that, but I have problems. And one of them is How to Talk to Your Succulent. And it's a graphic novel and I really wanted to read it. And I figured plants, greenery, it's cute, it would be fast. The other one is The Brightest Star, which I will put a picture of here somewhere. Sorry for the background. And it's not green, you might be saying. We'll get to that when I read it. I started this book right away and then read The Brightest Star, which is why I don't have it because it's a library book, and then read a little bit more of this, and then read this, and then finished this afternoon. Oh, and I also lost the intro footage that I did when I started reading this and I talked about the characters, but I did do a recap, which I think is good enough. My midway recap, I think, covers enough of that. So let's get reading. In all honesty, it's been several days since I've read any. I just got to the halfway point. I don't remember what I told you and what I haven't. Azalea is going to spend the rest of summer with her grandmother. Azalea lives in Texas with her mother and her father. The grandmother got injured. She's in Arkansas, Paris Junction, Arkansas. She needs help running her garden during the rest of the summer and wants Azalea to come spend the time with her. And so Azalea gets there. She's very unhappy that she's missing out on her summer with her friend. She's a very shy girl. She doesn't like speaking to people she doesn't know, so she doesn't know she didn't even know what to call her grandmother. She's never met her grandmother. Grandmother encourages a friendship between Azalea and Billy Wong. Or maybe it's just because it's 1952. I don't speak Chinese is basically her biggest concern. How am I supposed to talk to him? He and his family have been in the States since the 1800s. So there's no language problem there. And she does develop a friendship with him, but there's also these other kids that are signed up to help the grandmother work in the garden. And this is a very small town and it's a declining town. Azalea's there to help cook and clean and help with the garden, but they do have these other kids that come in to volunteer. Billy is one of them, and another one is Willis, and he's the troublemaker kid that is, I think it's a social worker, has come in and asked her to have him work in the garden, to supervise him and all that. And so Willis is definitely the bad guy in this story. And then there's Melinda, who shows up to work in the garden in high heels and a skirt and is not too happy to get all hot and sweaty and dirty. Azalea does make friends with Billy, and she's learning that people aren't one-dimensional. I really like the way this is leaning, so I'm going to try and continue some more, and I'll probably finish in the morning. But I am liking it so far. Having a time with this video, so sorry, this is editing me here again with the wrap up of Making Friends with Billy Wong by Augusta Scattergood, which I thought was absolutely adorable. I particularly like historical fiction. It takes place in 1952, rural community. It also has a nice little thing in the back where the author has talked about the history of Chinese grocery stores in her area and statewide. And I really appreciated that. I thought that was interesting. I don't know what happened to my footage. I am really sorry to stick editing me here again. I wanted to give it a good proper wrap up. I'm giving it a very solid 4 stars. I think it's very cute, but I do think you have to like the historical fiction and small town. Azalea has growth. She's kind of coming into her own. She's learning to speak up. She's more comfortable talking to her grandmother and to other people. She's still shy, but she's less shy, and she realizes that she really likes being with her grandmother. It's a very sweet book. It's super short, 209 pages, and I really liked it. Making Friends with Billy Wong. I want to read today The Brightest Star. It is by Meg Grahan. There are 3 reasons why I want to read this right now. 1, it's super short, it's not very long, not many pages, but it's also in verse. 2, I'm going to go to the library this afternoon, and that way, if I read this today, I can return it. And 3, it's an Irish author. And I figured, why not? It's St. Patrick's Day season. Is that a season? So why not give an Irish author a try? All I know about it is Stevie, Chloe, and Andrew are starting secondary school, and while Stevie and Chloe seem to find themselves, Andrew seems to get lost. And so I'm really curious. So let's get started. Okay, I'm done with chapter 2, which is page 24, not very far in. But I've learned a few things, and it's super cute. Stevie, she likes Chloe. So it's sapphic, which is sweet. The book starts, it's the day before her 13th birthday, and her mom gives her a telescope. She gets to look at the stars and planets and all that. She likes that. She had to invite other friends from her class to her birthday party because her mom didn't want just Chloe and Andrew. She said the mom wanted to invite the whole class, but Stevie does suffer from anxiety, and she sees Dr. Wells. Is that what it was? I believe that's what it was. He's been giving her exercises of like breathing, and she does a lot of self-affirmations of like, I can do it, I'm strong, I'm smart. It's the week before school starts. Yeah. Oh, and Andrew is a baker, and he baked her birthday cake. So she had the birthday party, and Chloe and Andrew stayed, of course, because they're her best friends. The 3 of them have been friends forever, it sounds like. And it says here, I can breathe and relax and enjoy the party with my best friends. So I'm going to keep going. It is super fast. It's not until page 60 that we get Andrew's point of view. What I like about it is Stevie's point of view is left justified, but Andrew's is right justified. I like that. So there's at least 2 points of view. I didn't know that starting this, but apparently this is book 2. In the back, there's, right after the author's note, the deepest breath. There is much that Stevie doesn't know. She doesn't know all about the fish in the sea. She doesn't know all about the constellations of the stars, and she doesn't know why she feels this way about Chloe. So that's book 1. Apparently. But clearly you didn't need to read it anyway. It's super sweet. It's very quick. If I can read it in nearly one sitting, I did get up. I don't want to give anything away, but Andrew does pull away from them. We see Stevie use her coping mechanisms, but Andrew doesn't have those mechanisms, even though he's helped Stevie all along. He's got some issues that he's working through, and I'm not going to say any of them because none of them are revealed in this. Stevie, even though she's been given skills, she lets the stress of school get to her at one point, and it's also the stress of Andrew not being there. I'm looking at the back to see if there's anything else I can give you. Stevie and Chloe know that they like each other and that their after-school group, the Rainbow Club, which isn't an after-school group, it's actually a lunchtime group. That's funny. But Andrew's pulling away and the friends are worried. No, it was very cute. I do highly recommend. I have no idea how I want to rate it. Right now I'm sitting at a 4. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that for a second. Super cute, very quick, and now I can return this to the library, which is where I think I'm going to go. Once upon a time, I went to the library and I saw a book that I knew absolutely nothing about, but I really liked the title, How to Talk to Your Succulent. It's a graphic novel, middle grade, and it happens to be green, so I thought I would read it this week. I'm about 25% of the way in. We meet Adara on a 3-day driving trip from California to Michigan. She and her dad are moving in with his mom, so her grandma. There's a lot of wordless panels. We learn a little bit about the mom. The mom is gone. She's passed. She used to talk to plants, and she would spend a lot of time talking to plants. And Adara tries to do that too, but she doesn't get anything out of it. They've moved to Michigan, and for some reason, she doesn't understand why they have brought so many of her mom's plants with them. The dad is a little odd. They get there Thursday, I think. It seems like on Friday after Thanksgiving, he's got a job thing that he has to go to, and he just like ducks out. It's kind of weird. I don't really know what that's about. That's like on page 4 or 5. Adara's got to hang out with Grandma, and Grandma's busy watching Judge Judy. So she's like, well, why don't you go walk around? She's like, I can do that? Because Dad would never let her do that. So she goes out for a walk. It's kind of raining, but it's okay. She's just going to wander around, finds a park, and she sees a something. Starts to follow it into the park and loses it in the park, but she meets a friend, Winona. The dad later sees that Adara is wearing her mom's earrings and they're like a succulent, and so he takes her to the nursery and she gets to buy her own succulent, and that's where we see this character. That's the first time that she can talk to plants and the plants can answer back. So that's pretty cute. I think that's fun. I'm going to keep going, always with my blanket. Super sweet. It starts in November. I like that it actually takes a couple of months. It ends in, I think it's February. I think it might actually be later than February, but February is the last chapter that we get. Both Adara and her dad are dealing with the loss. They're not communicating with each other, and it builds up and it builds up. And at the same time, Adara is not, because it's kind of all consuming for her. Why won't her dad talk to her? Why won't he be present and help me through this? She's really getting along with her grandmother, but she needs her father. So she's got all that kind of building up. She's not being a good listener to the plants. Oh, and I love the way the mom's plants are drawn and the way they talk and everything. It's very cute. She's not being a good friend to Winona, who she calls Winnie. Obviously, it's going to resolve well. It's very cute. I'm glad I read that. And those were my 3 books that I read. Do you have any succulents, and do you talk to them? I would love to know that. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.